This is how the Joker died.
It is a really long night time and a night starry sky, and I'm still dancing in the pale blue moonlight with the devil, but I am not because I am dressed as a bat with no family, and I am married to my dead parents, and it's not creepy because it is. But I do believe I am married to my work. Why? Because it is time that we are going to punch crime in the face. This is Arkham Twin Days. Hi there, viewers. I am Leo Wolverine, your game commentator and founding member of Leo's Let's Plays Alliance. So we're going to continue our story of progress of my movie review of my movie storyline of the Michael Keaton's 1989 movie of Batman, and we're going to conclude this so I can finally rest in peace and call it a day, or call it a night, or whichever works. So yeah, so since Vicky Vale has in a hotel because he no longer has the camera because Batman took it away, and it's now bye-bye. She has no evidence that because Bruce Wayne doesn't like have his photo taken dressing up as the Batman, because he doesn't want his picture taken, folks, because if he does, he's going to delete it the moment his photo's been taken, whether it's with or without the mask. And he doesn't like his photos taken. But still, even though that Michael Keaton is afraid of being in the suit, he used that fear to understand what it really feels like to become the Batman. To have this personified symbol that brings out the dark performance of the Caped Crusader. It is just absolutely amazing. Of course, and when Batman Bruce Wayne was kind of asleep. Usually it was not part of in the script, if you want to know. Of course, he was sleeping. He was having a dream. Then he realized then he started to focus on some things, of course. Well, he was not sleeping. He was kind of visualizing while he sees the Joker without the makeup. He says this to all the citizens of Gotham. I have removed my facial makeup to all of Gotham, and I am going to do something what nobody else does. I am going to dump away over $10 million in cash to all of citizens of Gotham. And yeah, I mean, now every citizen of Gotham is starting to pay attention, if you want to know. So yes, they are starting to pay attention very much. And the Joker says, yeah, I mean, usually, and he says, we do not negotiate with terrorists, even though that they do not negotiate with back during the Dark Knight trilogy movies, which I'd rather save that for later. And so, and guess what happens next? He had to, he will be able to dump $10 million for tonight or tomorrow. Of course, Batman is visualizing, but that's, Bruce Wayne is visualizing who is the Joker. Then he started to get a good realize of what happened back in Ace Chemicals. He is starting to realize, and then he remembers something, what happened tragically as a kid, as a child, when he was 10 or 12 years old. Going to this movie about watching whether it's Robin Hood or something, who knows. And so for that, it is just absolutely tragic. Then he finally realized he saw the killer, the shooter who is the killer. And of course, hearing these words, and well, yeah, this psychotic killer starts firing, and says, "Jack, we need to go now." And before he leaves, he says, "Hey there, kid. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale blue moonlight?" Like, and yeah, I mean, but then, before he pulls the trigger, one of them says, "Come on, the cops are coming quickly. Let's go." And then Jack says, "See you around, kid." Yeah, I mean, he's like the younger version of Jack. Of course, he finally starts to realize and remembers understanding who killed his parents. The person's name is Jack. I wonder if that was the same person back in Ace Chemicals, is the same one who grabbed his arm and tries to pull him off before he was fall into a tank of chemicals that almost cost him his life but came back alive as the Joker. And so, yes. And then, of course, usually part of the script was not in the movie, of course, and then you hear a lovely voice, a voice from a woman, and it's none other than Vicky Vale, and she holds out her hands, or cusps her hands, and says, "Everything's gonna be okay, I'm here." And it is, yeah, Vicky Vale, who's right in front of the picture in Bruce Wayne. And he says, he says to Alfred, or he says it out loud and says, "I love her." And Bruce Wayne says, "Alfred, why don't you marry her?" And Alfred says, "I don't think that is not the question, sir." That was kind of a funny way to put your mind into it. It's just too funny. It's just too funny for me to anybody to realize. Okay, so back to the of course, he had to try to go answer the phone, of course. And usually, of course, this part of the script was kind of written out. If you want to know, of course, I mean, he would call and say, "Hey, Vicky, what's up? I just want to tell you, I'm actually Batman." Of course, Vicky would say, "Do you think I'm deaf, or I'm not dumb enough to know who you are? Of course you're Batman." But then it's just, I'm glad that script was written out. But it would have been kind of funny if that would have happened, which kind of worked, but it just did, but not so sure if that did or not. And so he went to go visit Vicky Vale. Of course, Vicky was very disappointed, and she's not happy one bit. And so for that, since he is not too happy, I'm guessing she wants answers, because Vicky Vale says you're acting a complete jerk, and which he was, even though he wasn't trying to be a jerk, he is trying to be the nice guy, which kinda worked. Of course, he says, Bruce Wayne says, "There's something I've got to tell you." And so for that, and he kind of tries to explain the situation. He said, do you know when a man and a woman, a man who kind of gets overwhelmed with such joy? I'm trying to make this up as I go, even though I can't remember the words he says. And Vicky Vale says, "Oh my God, you're married." And it said, "No, I'm not married. No, he's not married, okay? He never was. If he was married, then that would have been Catwoman. But no, it's not. It would have been Vicky Vale with good, of course, if you know how that works. And so, and usually, now that how it goes to show you, he's trying to spell out the words. He is. I mean, how hard for a man who says, I'm vengeance, I am the night, but he can't say it out loud. And then this doorbell rang, and all of a sudden, he was kind of paused. He would have says, I'm Batman, I'm Batman. Or just, yeah, you try so hard and you couldn't say, I'm Batman. Anyways, I mean, really. And then the Joker appears out of nowhere, and then, yeah, I mean, the Joker appears in the front door. I'm sorry. So, the Joker appears in the front of the door. And so for that, he had a nice gesture, of course. Still has a thing for Vicky Vale, of course, if you want to know. Which is not going to stop him, even though he finds another guess, and it's none other than Bruce Wayne, the rich boy. Of course. And Bruce Wayne has to find some way to cover himself up with these, from getting himself shot, okay? So he finds something useful around him. So he tells this story. And Bruce Wayne says, I know who you are. He says, let me tell you a story. And he says, there was this bad kid. Bad seed. There was this kid. Troublemaker, bad seed. And then, kinda had wanted this thing from what he wants, but never got what he did and what he wanted for. So, you wanna know what happened? And the Joker says, yeah, what happened? Well, he started getting angry, and then he started shooting all over the place because he wanted to get what he wants. So he just standing there, and he just went completely nuts. And he says, oh, you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. And just stands there and it just play. I don't know if that, maybe that scene is pretty cool. And the Joker says to Bruce Wayne, and he said, tell me, you ever danced with the devil in the pale blue moonlight? And Bruce Wayne said, what? Wait a minute. And then the Joker starts firing and shoots Bruce Wayne in point blank range in front of the chest. Yeah, that's right. He shot him. Is he actually dead? No. Maybe. I don't think so, because he's actually alive. Because he had this armor plate covering that is in front of his chest, if you want to know. So, yes, he is alive, because now the Joker kind of says, I get so tired of all this, and then you have to go wander off, and then leaving me without my dinner date with you, and then some other stuff. Hey, what's going on? So yeah, he is just kind of a little cuckoo on the other side of the loopy hole. Whichever works best for him, I'm pretty sure he's a happy, happy man. Well, now that Bruce Wayne is gone, he saw Vicky Vale saw this little plate that where the little bullet kind of hit right its mark, but he survived. Of course, now he knows how he survived. And then Vicky Vale kind of opens up this present left by the Joker, and then there's a hand with some dead flowers, and then she just fainted. Yeah, she just fainted, completely. So, yeah. She actually fainted. There's a lot of scripts that shows in the movie of the 1989 movie Batman with Michael Keaton called Vicky Screams. And it absolutely works in this fantastic movie that you can hear Vicky scream scarcely. I mean, seriously, you can hear it scarcely from where it took place. And okay, now that of course that the Joker is going to start giving away a lot of money for giving away $10 million to all the citizens of Gotham for free. And all the citizens of Gotham are marching in the parade, and the parade will go on and completely go on as scheduled. Of course, that's when things going to happen. What the citizens don't know is that the parade is a ruse. What contains in one of the balloons is Joker gas. He created his own Joker gas. If you remember how he created his own little commercial that one of the Gotham news reporters were actually using makeup and then stopping the cosmetic breakdown, and then he kind of was laughing so hard, and then she was smiling, and then she couldn't stop laughing, and then she has this sinister grin like the Joker's. And then this TV commercial, I mean, it's before or after, I mean, on this movie, and then with the sinister grin, and then he has his own TV show about these. If you bought this stuff, it is called My Joker Perfume, or I'm just making this up. And this guy bought called Brand X. No, he didn't he bought Brand X. And so, if you smell of the Joker cologne, Joker perfume, and Joker makeup with lipstick and cosmetics, you become the Joker yourself, or get poisoned. And so, and you see this special ad in the movie where you see these two dead models, and they make these two dead models to kiss, and it was disturbing and horrifying, which I never want to see ever again. So don't show it again, ever. So yeah, and Batman, however, he solved the clues of the going shopping of the highly cosmetics of lipstick, makeup, and perfume for manly cologne, and all that sort of stuff that works with his best protege. Okay, and now we go back to the balloon, and so the balloon was filled with the poison Joker gas, and yeah, the guy named Knox. Now I remember who his name is, Knox. Yeah, the guy with the tie, who is with a bad haircut and with a hat, and not a bowler's hat, like a fedora hat of some sort. Yeah, like Noir. And so he had to, Vicky Vale and Knox had to seize that this gas was being released on one of Joker's balloons, and he said, "Oh no, he's poisoning the citizens of Gotham with Joker gas. We got to do something." I mean, Batman is in the Batwing, of course, finding the way to get rid of the Joker gas on those balloons, or maybe one or two of the balloons, or maybe three. I'm guessing he put in like several of the balloons, which I'm pretty sure that's how it happens. So, two of the balloons, or three or four, and then and then Batman gets a good look at the signal. He noticed that those balloons are bad, which shows the bat signal, and then the Joker was not very happy. He says, "He's flying one of those. Why did nobody tell me he's one of those?" And yeah, he's flying one of those, if you want to know. So get used to it, Joker. Your name is Jack. And so the Joker tells Bob, he says, "Bob, pistol." And gives the pistol to Joker, and he fires him point blank range and shot him to death. So, poor Bob. You know what happens to Bob? Because he didn't know that the Batwing was going to take down the balloons that are filled with Joker gas. Because he didn't know about the Batwing. So, yeah. So much for Bob. Poor Bob. So, that's it for Bob. He said, and Joker says, "Oh, I need to be alone, boys. Give me some time." So yeah, and then the Joker's management says, "All right, everybody, get out of here!" And then start firing bullets up in the air. And now he got some alone time, and then the Joker wants to fire Batman with his specialized special pistol weapon gun of some sort. And of course, Batman has the Joker in his sights, and he just he's just standing there. He fires, but he doesn't want to kill him. He's just using the Batwing would be kind of too cruel for him. I don't know. It's not worth it, I suppose. Even if it seems like a good idea. Ah, the water! So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So, and the Joker shot fired his
I can't do that now.
long range pistol weapon, of course, if you want to know. It is just unbelievable. So yeah. And so for that matter, he took down the Batwing in front of Batman, I suppose, which absolutely worked. So yes, that worked so well. Firing a pistol in front of shooting the Batwing actually took him down in one shot. He is down. Batman is down for the count. So what do you have to do? We pick ourselves up and get back in the fight again. So life does knock us down. That's what, thanks to the good quotes of Alfred from Batman Begins. But that's a later time. And so, for that matter, the Joker has Vicky Vale. Of course, I mean, even though he's kind of upset, he's still smiling. He says, "Meet us at the church tower in 5 minutes. Better make that 10. And one of the henchmen says, "All right, 10 minutes." So they started climbing up to the top of the church bell tower. And, of course, Batman started climbing up. He's battered and bruised, but he is kind of bleeding. But he's not bleeding to death, okay? He survived because he's Batman! Alright, that's how it goes. Even though the movie is still rolling, it's going to be fine. He's not going to die, folks. I'm pretty sure he isn't. So, he's in the church tower, and there's a bunch of thugs and goons of Joker's henchmen, and some of them might learn a bit of karate. Of course, the Joker doesn't want anybody to follow, only the Batman will follow him, and so he had to melt off one of the ropes of the church bell, and so with acid, and he fires upon the rope, and then the rope starts eating its way off, and there goes the church bell, and it's blocked off. However, even though Batman made it inside and didn't get crushed by the church bell itself, he is smart and quick and very taut. T-A-U-T. You think it was taut as in T-A-U-G-H-T. Funny. And so for that, they're in the church tower, like and possibly like 10 stories, maybe 100 feet, I don't know, 200, 300, 400, 500 feet, maybe that high. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was pretty high, but I cannot tell. It was like possibly almost as tall as the Empire State Building or the Willis Tower. If you think about it, I mean, of course, it is really tall. So, as tall as it gets, it goes. Batman's able to fend off the goons, especially when he kind of fight off this one goon who had to put this had this knife on one of his shoes, and then Batman pulls out this plate that stops the goon's attack because, you know, he is a man of many mysteries and a man of many talents with a lot of gadgets and gizmos, and also, not to mention, how to play smart and play safe. So, he took down all the goons, and he also took down the one who knows about martial arts. Yes, have you seen Batman does martial arts? You know, when Michael Keaton does this? Of course, he might have done it off the set. And that's the end of one of the goons who does martial arts, and he is the dead. Of course, even though that Batman doesn't kill, why did the movie shows that Batman does kill? I will never know. Because it happened. Which is why Tim Burton was actually banned on conventions. Because the Bat don't kill. But instead, he does on its own movies and not the other. Just kind of funny if you think about it, but it's strangely awkward at the same time. And so, and Vicky Vale sees Batman, of course, and Vicky Vale tries to come up with a distraction of some sort. So, distracting the Joker. So he tries to distract the Joker. Yes, he did try to distract the Joker, but then tells him how wonderful, how purple he is, and then all this and that, and just smooth talking him. And then finally, Batman shows up and he says, "Hi there. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale blue moonlight?" And then he does this wicked punch so hard in front of the Joker, and then the Joker punches out with Joker teeth. I mean, spits out the Joker teeth. I mean, you know, choppers. You know, choppers, not choppers of a helicopter. You know, choppers of teeth. Come on, work with me. I'm trying to be serious here. And so with the choppers, and he did, and Batman says, "You killed my parents," and and Batman says, "I created you, you created me. That makes us even." He says, "Getting even. I mean, getting over the vast of chemicals wasn't easy," and and the Joker tries to punch him, but he gets a mouthful of fisting hurt of wrist pain. He kind of turned his wrist into a maraca. So, yay! The Joker feels pain, and now his wrist is kind of a maraca, which he shook it off. So funny. And now, and yeah, and it wasn't over. He didn't get over that easily, but he got over it somewhat quickly. But then he says, "You wouldn't punch a guy you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses on, would you?" And Batman did hit a guy with glasses on. So, yep, he did hit a guy with glasses on, even though he even couldn't see or partly blind or whatsoever. He just and then yeah. So the Joker is gone, but you may think he is gone, but Batman take a quick look-see. So is Vicky Vale. Take a quick look-see with him. They were pulled down by the Joker, and the Joker makes this sinister laugh. And he says, "What are you looking at?" And laughs in front of this worthless, lifeless statue gargoyle. And yeah. And then Batman actually launches this grappling hook, ties to this statue, of course. Well, before he did that, And then Vicky Vale was about to lose her grip, and Joker says, "Give me your hand." She grabs his hand, and then the Joker kind of pulls this April Fool's joke of about one hand up and then pull a hand off. She gave Vicky a hand off. Batman quickly grabs her and grabs her onto the other side of the ledge on his side. So yeah, and then he finally makes the Sinister laugh, lopping his head off in front of a lifeless statue of a gargoyle. Now Batman fires the grappling hook on the Joker's leg, and then launches and ties it on that gargoyle statue. And then the Joker was losing his grip. He knows the statue is really heavy. He knows he couldn't hang on to it, and then he lost his grip. And then he's fallen down way below the ground. And that is the end of the Joker, who has fallen off from the Church of the Bell Tower and being his leg tied and on the grappling rope of the back grapple, and being caught with a heavy statue. And so for that is the end of the Joker. And so for that matter, this is how it happened. This is how the Joker died in the 1989 movie of Michael Keaton with Kim Basinger and Jack Nicholson, Batman. Yes. And this is how he died as the Joker. Being tied away from it. It's just kind of funny if you think about it. It's just absolutely funny. Okay. So, one more thing. So now that Vicky Vale knows who Batman's secret identity is, and it's none other than Bruce Wayne, even though he wanted to escape it, he says, "I can't. I want to escape it, but I can't. This is how it used to be. I gotta stop him, or else he's gonna take down all of Gotham City. I'm sorry." So, guess what? He is married to his work, and he is married to his dead parents, which is not creepy, because it is. Even though I am not married to my dead parents, which is not creepy, which it is not. And I'm not married to my dead parents because my parents are alive. Thank you very much. Thank you. Even though that you can ask Batman to be a dad, even though he's kind of a terrible father, but he might win Father of the Year. At least he's somewhat better than, I don't know, maybe Vegeta from the Dragon Ball universe. But I would say it's equal, but Vegeta's a little bit more better as a father than Batman himself. And so for that matter, I would say that is how the end of the story of this movie comes to a conclusion, of how that the Joker died in the 1989 movie of Batman. Of course, the Return of the Joker is on, which is on the original Nintendo, which is kind of like Contra 3, if you want to know. It's just kind of funny. So yeah. It is pretty interesting to see how things get going along, and then up and out and down and about. He's just blowing up the cars because he feels good, but not really though. So yeah, and so there was an event holding in downtown Gotham. The Commissioner Jim Gordon and District Attorney Harvey Dent, of course, even though that Bruce Wayne was somewhere on the script that says about we do not negotiate with terrorist thing, and Bruce Wayne says we need to shut down Ace Chemicals or do something about it. We need to go infiltrate or some sort. And then Harvey Dent says, "Bruce, we got laws here. What do you suggest we would do?" I mean, Bruce Wayne says, "Blow it up!" And they'll say, "Whoa, white boy be tripping!" Yeah. Very smart indeed if he wanted to blow up the Ace Chemicals, which he did! Blew up Ace Chemicals, and guess what? He was right. And that happened during the movie! Yeah, and I do believe that it is your little happily ever after. And, oh yeah, before I leave, he says, if Gotham's in trouble, and if anything goes wrong to this entire city, call me. And then Knox says, how do we call him? And then Jim Gordon says, who's the commissioner? He gave us this signal, and then all of a sudden you see the bat symbol in the sky, on the nighttime sky, and Vicky Vale smiles up, and then Alfred says, Forgive me, Miss Vale. Master Bruce seems to may be a little bit late. And Vicky Vale says, I know. And that, and will shows the bat symbol night in the sky, and you'll see Batman on the horizon standing on the tower of the church tower, and that is the end of the movie, and that, my friends, it will be concluding the end of the 1989 movie Michael Keaton's Batman. Thanks for watching. I am spent, and don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me, what do you guys think of Batman, of the 1989 movie starring Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger, and Jack Nicholson. And mash this like button if you guys love Arkham Twin Days, and so on and so forth. So once again, this is Leo Wolverine saying and speaking as always as your sensational special being who takes chances, makes mistakes, and get messy, even though I see the runny water. In Leo's Let's Plays Alliance, Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. See you guys next time for more of Arkham Twin Days.